So, hello guys, welcome to javaisawesome, and in this video we talk about debugging. And debugging is very important concept for the developers. Okay, so for debugging we need STS IDE or any IDE you prefers or Eclipse. Then after we need a Java project, and whatever the Java project you have, in that we can do the debugging, and a Spring Boot project. So simply in this video, we are going to cover like how to do the debug in the normal Java classes and how to do the debugging in the Spring Boot API. So both things we can discuss in this video. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So if you see here, what is debugging exactly? So debugging is a one of the process to identify the error. Okay, so debugging is a one of the tools which is going to help us to identify the error. Okay, analyze the error, where is the exactly error, we can separate it the code and we can discuss it. Cover laterals and damage, where is the some damage, where is the functionality is breaking, each and everything we can test with the help of the debugging. Fourth is prove the analysis, like what are the issue you are getting and what are the problems you are facing. You can easily explain to the other peoples. Okay, so prove the analysis, identify and error location. So many times, like if you do the manually, it's lots of the time will take, and maybe you can't find the exactly what is the issue. So in that case, it's a very helpful debugging tools. It will easily identify the location of your error or exception, whatever. So this is the debugging icon, and through that we can resolve our issue. Okay, I will explain each and everything. So be cool and try to understand each and every words. Okay, what is debugging? So debugging is the process of identifying, analyzing, and removing the error, bugs from the software or hardware. In the context of the software development, developing or debugging involves location and fixing the coding mistake that cause the program to behave unexpectedly or crash. So sometimes what happen in your program, having some coding mistake or maybe some unexpectedly behavior will happen, or sometimes your program will crash. So here is the detailed overview of the debugging process. Okay, so through that you can understood like what is the exactly issue. Okay, so debugging will help you in that. Benefits of the debugging: improve the software quality. Debugging help to create more reliable and stable software. So this is the benefits of the debugging. So debugging will mainly improve the software quality, user satisfaction, and maintainability. Satisfaction means fixing the bugs and leads to better user experience. Maintainability means regular debugging and code review make the code base easier to maintain and enhance over the time. Okay, debugging is an essential skills for developers and engineers, requiring a methodological approach and capabilities with the various tools and techniques to efficiently resolve the issue. So it's helping you to fastly resolve the issue. Now we are going to discuss about lots of the shortcuts, lots of the things, like how we can use the debugging in our IDE. So make sure you have one IDE. If you don't have any IDE, you can't do the debugging, because in the Java code, if you run with the command line, you can't see the debugging tools. Okay, so you have to prefer one IDE. So if you see here, a Spring Tool Suites is a popular IDE for developing a Spring application. It is based on the Eclipse. So many of the shortcuts are similar here, and some essential debugging shortcuts are facilitated in STS. Okay, so each and every shortcuts we can go and we can discuss. Okay, so starting and stopping the debugger is very important. Okay, so what they are saying, like if you want to start the debugging or stop the debugging, you have to prefer this shortcut. So you have a F11, debug the last launch application, Control plus F11, run the last launch application, Control Alt plus Shift plus D or maybe T, debug the current files as a unit test. So those are the shortcuts you can prefer in your Eclipse IDE. Let me go to the Eclipse IDE and let's try it. Let's go with the F11. So this is my IDE, and I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to press F11. Okay, so once I press the S11, I don't know what is happening inside this, but if you see here, launching a Spring Boot application itself. Okay, so it's launching a Spring Boot application, it's told, or it's started in the debug mode, if you see clearly. And whatever the debugger points I have put it here, it's a stop in that place. Okay, and your code is started in the debug mode. Okay, so F11 will just start your application. Okay, I have stopped it again. Now I have to see the do the practical for just control plus F11. So if I press control plus F11, what will happen? Let's see. Launching a Spring Boot applications. Okay, fine. Spring Boot one application. So if you press just F11, what will happen? Your code will start in the debug mode. If you press Control plus F11, then what will happen? Your code will just start the launching of application. So if you see here clearly, I have mentioned run the last launch application. So F11 if you want to do the debug of last launch applications, or Control plus F11 if you want to launch or just start your application without debug mode, then go with the Control plus F11. Alt Shift plus D and comma T, debug the current file as a JUnit test. So for example, I have this file, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to press the same key, Alt Shift D, Alt Shift D, and once you press the Alt Shift D, you can see here lots of the options. Alt Shift D, after that you can see lots of the options: debug ANT build, debug Eclipse application, debug JUnit plugin test, debug JUnit test. So whatever the options you are able to see, you can utilize those options to build your application or start your application or debug your application. Whatever you want to do, you can do here. So if I click here, Alt plus Shift plus D plus T, this is our things which is testing. So if you click on that, what will happen? No JUnit test case found. So we have not written any JUnit test case for this application. If you have written, it will automatically start and it will run your application. Okay, I hope you understood those three shortcuts. Okay, so as of now we understood what F11 start application in debug mode, okay, and current launched application only. For example, you have multiple application in your workspace, and if you try to run, so latest one will start. If you just press F11, if you press F control, okay, control plus F11, if you press it, just run your application, just start your application without debug mode. So it will not start in the debug mode. Alt plus Shift plus D or comma T, run JUnit test case. Run test case. That is also very important of the current file. So whatever the file you have, in that you can use it. Okay. So this is some shortcut, and you have to remember it as a developer, so that your work will be done very fast and you can become a hero of in front of anyone. Control plus F11. So this is the shortcut which you have to remember. Okay, so this is only for starting and stopping your applications in the debugger mode. I hope it's clear. Now you have to know about the breakpoint. So breakpoint is very important, and if you know the shortcuts, it's a massive. Okay, it's a very important also. So for example, breakpoint means if you run your application in debug mode and if you want to stop your application in some particular place or some particular logic. So if you call that methods and if you call out logic after starting your application, automatically your cursor will stop that place. It will not go forward until you make it breakpoint next. Okay, so breakpoint is just, it is used for the stopping your application while running in the debug mode for particular place. Okay, so that what we are saying is a toggle breakpoint, toggle breakpoint at the current line. So control shift B. Let's go to our Eclipse. This is our Eclipse, and here if you see we have one breakpoint, so I have removed it. Now I want to put some breakpoint here. Let me write something. Anything you can write or don't write, it will work. Okay, I want to put some breakpoint in line number 10, for example. My cursor is in the line number 10, it's blinking. So what I can do, Control Shift B. So if I press Control Shift B, you can see one dot is opened here. Okay, I hope you are able to see. Let me maximize it. So one dot you are able to see here, and the name called line breakpoint. Okay, if you mouse over on it, it will show line breakpoint. If you want to remove it, Control Shift B. Same thing. Control Shift B. Again it will come. Control Shift B. Again it will go. Control Shift B. Again it will come. So whenever you want, you can put it like that. Control Shift B. Now you are able to see two breakpoint here. Okay, in the same way, you can put multiple breakpoint whenever you want to control your flow of the execution of the code. Okay, so this is the Control Alt plus B shortcut. Control Shift plus B, toggle breakpoint of the current line it will do. Control plus R, run the line, execution stop when it is reached the line where the cursor is placed. So if you want to run your current line, just current line, then you can press Control plus R. Control plus F8, toggle breakpoint. So let's go that place only, or Control plus F8. So if you see here, if I press Control, if you go and any file and if you press Control plus F8, it will show you one pop-up. And if you see here, you have two tabs. One is Java, one is debug. One is Java, one is debug. One is Java, one is debug. So if you go and press Control plus F8, and if you go to the debug mode, it will go to the debug mode here. If you see clearly, Control plus F8. If you press, it will go to the Java mode again. So it's your decisions. You want to run your application in like you want to see your application view in the Java mode or debug mode. So it's your choice. You can decide and you can go and you can check it out. Okay, so this is the shortcut for the Control plus F8, which is toggle breakpoint. It's a debugger or Java. That is called breakpoint. So breakpoint is very important. You have to understand where we have to keep the breakpoint. Okay, so this is the some other shortcuts. I hope you understood. Let's go to the next, navigating the debugger. So navigating the debugger is also very important part. So once you do the put the breakpoint, then after you have to go forward direction, backward directions, or inside the method, inside the functions. Then you have to use those navigating the debugger shortcut F5, F6, F7, F8. F5 means what? A step into. For example, in your code having a one method, inside you are calling some other method, inside you are calling some other method. So a step into means it will go to the caller method. So from one method to another method, another method to another method, it will go. Let me show you. Okay, and a step over means if you keep the F6. So a step over means execute the current line and move to the next line in the current method. So it will just go line by line, but F5 will go in depth. Let me show you. So this is our class. Okay, so let me first explain like how we can do the debugging. So this is the test main class. normal Java project I have created. Inside the normal Java project, I have created one testing.java. Correct? In testing.java, if you see, we have a two methods. One is main method, okay, and inside the main method I have called one more method, print data, and from the print data method I have implemented here, and it's doing something else. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put one debugger here, Control Shift B. One debugger is available here now. Now I'm going to start this, run this application as a debug mode. So you can run this separate class. Okay. So what you can use the shortcut F11, right? If it is not, it's not launching the currently application, you can go here, right click on your class, go to debug as, and run as a Java application. So it will start your application in a debugger mode. You have to say, okay, switch in the debug mode. You are giving the permission to switch in the debug mode. Once it is switch in the debug mode, you can see there is no output on the console as of now, but your application is running on. Okay, and here the first line itself, which we have written the javaisawesome, is stop. Now what we have to do? We have to go to the next line. So for going to the next line, executing by the current line, you can use the F6. Let me press F6. So I'm pressing the F6. So it's executed one line and it's now came to the line number 8. So if you see here, first line, which is javaisawesome, is executed and it's printed on the console. Now what I am to do? I want to go again next line. So I press F6. So I go to the next line. Again I am going to press F6. Okay. So if I press F6, it's again like method call is happen, print data, and if you see here, it's printed the data also, 0 or even number. It means the method call is happen here. It's going to that block and it's executed it. It's came back here. Again, it's going for the second time. Okay. Again, press the F6. It will go to the next line. F6. Again, it's executed 2 times our print data method. Okay. So if you see, it's printed 1. Even numbers 1. But 1 is not a even number, so it just printed 1. Okay. If you press again F6, its call is happened, and 2 is what? Even number. So 2 even number, it's printed because we have written the logic right only, like print the data which we have sent it here, which is 1, 2, 0, whatever, and check if it is modular division with the 2, then print the even number, otherwise no. Okay. So what you analyze as of now, if I am pressing here F6, what? F6. So if I press here F6, what will happen? Going cursor or debugger line by line, line by line, even its method call. Understood? Even it's a method call. It's going a step in a step over. That is called a step over. It's going line by line. Again, I'm going to press F6, 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 F6. Once it is done, it's printed each and everything. It will come out, and it's saying done. Your program execution is done, and you can see all those output here. Main method is call is ended. Okay, understood? Now we have to see what is the use of F5. You understood? F6 going line by line, line by line. Even it's a method call, it's not going inside these methods. Okay. Now we understood. Now if you want to go inside this method, what we have to press? We have to press F5. So it will go inside this method. Let me run once again. So I'm going to just press F11 because this is our latest launch application. So once I press F11, our application is just started in the debug mode. It's running on. Okay. Just press the F5. So it's going inside the println method. It's going one by one. Whenever the println method is calling, it will go inside it, 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 inside it. Lots of the things it will do, and then after it will come back, because inside the println method itself we have written lots of the logic. Okay, it's a predefined methods println. It's not in our control, so it's written by the who written by James Gosling, Java developer, JDK developer. So those methods they have called from internally lots of the things, and they are printing our data. Still we are not able to come back. We are going inside this, inside this, inside this. Okay, let me stop our application and remove this class. And we don't want to go to the predefined methods. We can go in our method itself. Okay, correct? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press F11 to start your application in the debug mode. A started application. Now I'm going to press F6 because I don't want to go inside the println. So I have clicked on F6. It will go to the next line. I have clicked F6. It will go to the next line. Now I want to go inside my method. If I click F6, it will go to the next line. Okay, but if you press the F5, it will go inside the print data method. Let me press F5. So if I press F5, it's going inside the method, a step into, or inside the method. If you go and if you see here, your data is coming as a 0. So it will print the 0. Next, again go to the next line, step over 6, F6, 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 F6. Again you come back, F6. Again if you press the F6, it will go just next line. But if you press F5, it will go inside this again. So these things you have to understand, like what exactly it's doing. So as F5 means step into, means inside the method, go inside the method. F6 means step over, execute the current file and move to the next line in the current methods. It will not go to the implemented method. So let me write here F5 will go inside the calling method. Okay, so we'll go inside the calling method. F6 will not go inside the calling method, it will just go to the next line. So this is the difference you have to understand. Now F7, step return. Finish the current method and return to the caller methods. Finish the current method and return to the caller method. Next is F8, resume and continue execution until the next breakpoint or end of the program. Okay, so let me do the F6 first. So for example, I'm here right now. I'm going to press F7. It's coming to the main method. Again, what I'm going to do, I'm going to the next line inside the F5, and again I pressed F7. So it's coming back to the caller method, and if you see, it's executing also. It's printing all those data. It's a even number. Again, I'm going to the next line, step into or come back F7. So 3 it's printed. So whatever it's doing is it's going here, it's printing data, it's coming back directly here. It's not showing any other things. Okay, so that is the benefits of the F7. Clearly I have mentioned here, if you go with the document, F7 means step return. Finish the current method and return to the caller method. So this is the current method. So it's finishing it, it's came here, it's finished it, and it's come back to the main method. Main method means caller method. Who is calling? Main method is calling the print data method. So main method is a caller method. Understood? If you want to see anything, CR 3, 5, what is the value it's going on, what is the expression, each and everything you can track and you can see easily and you can understand. Okay. So this is the F7. I hope you understood. F8 is resume. Resume means continue execution until the next breakpoint or end of the program. So for example, I am here and next I don't want to go here. I'm going to put here one debugger. Okay, and I'm going to press F8. What will happen? It will come to the next breakpoint directly. So I hope you never see like our cursor is came here and you never see the cursor is came here. It directly came to the next breakpoint because we have put it two breakpoint in this flow. So one breakpoint is in the main method and one breakpoint inside the print data method. So it came directly to the next breakpoint. Okay. So this is the use of F8. Okay. I hope you understood F5, F6, or F7, F8. Okay. Now the next thing is like whatever the things you are doing here, the same things you can do by this UI also. So if you see here, this is the option called step into, which is F5. So if you press this, it will work same thing like how our code is working. Let me do once again with the UI. So let me press F11. Our application is started. So this is the step into, this is the step over, this is the F7, and this is the F8, drag to the frame. This is the control plus F to stop the program. This is the suspend and this is the resume, F8, next breakpoint. So this is the four options I have discussed as of now. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This one you have to remember. Okay. Let's do it something. So right now our execution is not started. There is nothing in the console as of now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to use the UI. So I want to go to the next line. So I will press escape over F6. I click on that, it's go to the next line. I want to go next line. Again, I have clicked on that. Now I want to go inside the print data method. So step into, I have pressed it. I came here. Now I want to go to the next line. So step over. Step over. I don't want to continue this. I don't want to continue and see each and every line. I just want to go to the caller method. So step 7. Okay. It came here. It came here. F7. It's printed 0 or even numbers. Now I don't want to go anywhere. I just want to go with the next breakpoint. I don't want to go to the next line. So what I will do, I will press on the resume. Once I will press on the resume, it's going to the next breakpoint and it's stop here. If you see here, all the output will be printed. Okay, so this is the 4 option also. You can utilize this also. It's your wish. Okay, I hope you understood how to navigate our debuggers through the UI or through the shortcuts also. Shortcut is most important. If you do, it's look very nice, very cool. Okay, next go and understand some more debugging point. So managing the breakpoint, Control Shift plus B, toggle breakpoint we are using, Control plus 3, quick access. If you see here, what we are doing, Control Shift plus B, toggle breakpoint we can use, Control plus 3, what? Quick access, type breakpoint to the open the breakpoint view, Control plus Shift plus Q B, open the breakpoint view, Control Shift plus Q plus B, show the breakpoint view. So for example, I want to press this one. Okay, Control Shift plus Q, comma B. Otherwise, you can do first Control plus B. This one you already know, Control Shift plus B, adding the breakpoint, Control plus 3. So I'm going here and I am just pressing the Control plus 3. So Control plus 3 is just starting and reaching the, like it's opening the command line. There is nothing breakpoint name we have given, but it's showing here, debugging all those things. Okay. In the same way, if you want to do the Control Shift plus Q, Control Shift Q, nothing is happening as of now. Control Shift Q. Control Shift Q, Alt Shift Q, Alt Shift Q. So with the Alt Shift Q, we can see all those breakpoints. So show view of the breakpoint. If you click on that, it will show like whenever you have put it in your application breakpoint, and from that also we can remove all your breakpoint in your like applications. So if you click on that, you can see this breakpoint will remove. So it's asking remove all breakpoints. Once you click on that, it will remove all those breakpoints. So this is some shortcut which you have to know to remove all those breakpoints. Right? Control Shift plus B, add the toggle. Next is debugging view. So Control Shift plus D and B display the breakpoint view. Control Shift plus D and E display the expressions view. So there is lots of the things, expression you can check, variable you can check, console you can check. In the same way, people are checking with the mouse over, mouse over. If you go to the that particular variables and if you mouse over on it, it will automatically show the value. Okay, each and everything you can see. Okay, in the separate place also it's showing, so I will show you. Control Shift plus D. Control Shift plus D, let me do it. Control Shift plus D. So first let me start our application, and once it is started, Control Shift D or Control Shift D, then after only we have some option. So Control Shift D, there is nothing. Control Alt D. Okay, huh. So sometimes it's not working with the control, so you can press the Alt. Okay, through the Alt also, whatever the option you want. Okay, for example, B, E, V, C, display the console view, display the variable view, display the expression view. So let me print the E. So Alt Shift D or E. So if you go and see here, E, debug Eclipse application. So if you press on E, it will show the expressions view of your applications. Okay, I hope you understood and you are able to relate my each and every point in the debugging point of view, and those are the shortcuts you have to remember it. And even I explain each and everything, you can't understood until you not try. So it's your responsibility to try each and everything and do the work on it. Okay, so I hope you understood those things. Next thing is like evaluating the expression. So Control Shift I, inspect the selected expression. Control plus D, display the evaluate the selected expressions. So let me do it. Control Shift plus I. For example, I am here and I want to see this expression, what it will give me. So let me go to the next breakpoint and let's go to the next, and I want to know this expression. So I have selected it, and Control Shift plus I, if I press, it will show me the value. Ki data modulo division 2 is true. Data modulo division 2 is true. Control Shift I, if I press it, it's showing me the true. Okay, if it is true, it will go inside this. So those things you can do yourself and you can try to understand. Okay, one more controllers like Control plus D. So let me select this line. And Control D. So if you press Control D, Control D, Alt D. So it's showing the current debugger structures just now. And if you go and see the console, there is lots of the thing is happening now because we have opened in the expressions mode. Okay, our debugging will be opened as the expressions mode. So you are able to see lots of the things as Java version, Eclipse, all those things you are able to see. But those are not required for us as a developer. We are seeing the console view only. Okay, so this is the things we have to understand. Next is controlling the execution. So resume F8, you already know. Go to the next breakpoint. You can press the F8. Control plus F2, terminate or stop the debugging session. So it's running on right now. If you press F2, it will automatically stop your applications. Otherwise, you can go and press here, Control plus F2. So Control plus F2, if you press, your application will stop in the debug mode. Okay. Let me stop the application also. It's a stop now. So this is the Control plus F2, terminate or stop the debugging session. F7, step return. F6, step over. F5, step into. Those things I have already explained with the shortcut or UI also. Okay. This is the UI part which is hidden now. A step into, a step over, those things, and I have given the shortcut also. Okay. Let's move to the second slide. So this is the miscellaneous. So here if you see Control plus 1, quick fix, resolve errors or suggestions, it will give you if you press Control 1. Control space, it will give the suggestion like what next. Control plus shift plus L, so the key assist, and the control plus H open the search dialogs. So those you can utilize here. So control plus 1, quick fix. Control plus 1, if you press it, it will give some suggestion if having some error some places. Okay, there is no suggestion as of now. If I remove this, it's not giving any suggestion as of now. Let me start in the debug mode, F11, or maybe let me remove it, continue it, and just give the control 1. No suggestion as of now. Okay, no issue. Control space, you already using, always we are typing control space after writing something. Maybe you are adding some predefined method or some variables. You are starting point, some you are writing some character, after that you are pressing control space. So it will give some suggestions. Okay. And control shift plus X, so key assist. Let me show you the control plus space. Continue it. For example, I want to call this method. So PR I have given the control space, so it's showing me the suggestion, like which one you want, like that. Okay, I hope you understood. If you press Control H, it will open the search bar, and here you can search whatever you want. Java search, plugin search, Git search, file search, anything. Control plus H you can press it. Okay, this is the shortcut. You have to remember it. Tips for the effective debugging is like breakpoint condition. So you have to take the decision like where we have to keep the breakpoint. Right click on the breakpoints and select the breakpoint and properties and set the condition to hit counts. Exception breakpoints. Okay, in the breakpoints view, you can add exception breakpoint to stop the execution when a particular exception is thrown. Watch expression, add expression to the expression view to monitor their value as a step through the code. So those things also you can do. You can add the expression also. This shortcut should help you to navigate and utilize the debugging features in the STS. For details for the specific functionality, refer the official document for the help and section with the ID. Otherwise, you can do the comment. I will help you in that to understand. For example, this is the breakpoint. Correct? Here you can add the breakpoint group, add the task. So if you want to add any task, you can add it. Okay, normal or priority or high based on that. Line number 7, and you can click on continue. Okay, there are lots of the things you can do here. Okay, but as of now, that is enough to test Java applications, I hope. So please remember those shortcuts. That is very, very important. Okay. And then after, so this is the main applications we have. So we have put it the debugger easily. What about if it is a Spring Boot application? So let me open the Spring Boot application. Okay, so this is the Spring Boot application. So how we are testing the Spring Boot application? So in the Spring Boot application, we also have a one main methods. Okay, so inside this main method, if you go and if you put the debugger, Control Shift B, debugger will added. And if you start your applications, okay, how you can start? Right click on application, go as a debug mode and run as a debugger. So once you execute it, your application will started, but it will stop when while calling a main method. But it's not a stop as of now because we have not put a debugger in main method. I have put it. Even if you put the debugger in here or any API, it will not work. Okay, so if you see here in the controller, I have put it one debugger. So when the call will happen for this particular endpoint, then only this breakpoint will work. As of now, it will not work because it's not a part of that flow. Okay, so let's go to the main method and add one debugger here. Okay, and what we can do, let me stop our application and just click F11. So your application will started in the debug mode, and if you see your debugger mode is started and it's activated here, it stopped also. Now I want to go inside the run method, so I will press F5. Once I press F5, it will go inside the main methods, run method, and it will show me the run methods. Again, I want to go inside this run method. Inside, I will go into run methods, priority. Okay, everything. You can go inside this, and you can check each and everything internal flow also. So that is one things you can cover. Okay, I hope you understood. Now the second thing is, as a developer, we are not testing the main methods. Okay, we have to test our API. So while testing our API, which API you are testing? Maybe in the one controller or two controller, and in the one controller having a multiple endpoint. So which endpoint you are calling? Based on that endpoint, you have to put the debugger inside this. So I have put it one debugger here. Okay, let me run this application. Press F11. So our application is going to start. It's started now. Once it is started, there is no debugger here, so it's not stopping. And once it is started, I'm going to open my browsers. Okay, in the browsers, I'm going to hit localhost 8080 slash clean data. Once I hit it, you can see debugger is activated here. Okay, once debugger is activated, you can see here, we came here. Now I want to go inside this method, get user data. So what I will do, I will go through that step into, okay, you can come here. I want to go inside this method, get user data, so I will click F into. No, it's going to the string method first. Okay, let me continue with F6. It's done. It's came here. Now I will click F6. It's going to the get user data, and finally it will do our work and it will come back with returning some value. So go F6, F6. It came back. Finally, it came back to our API, which is Prince data. And finally, if you press what F8, so it will run your applications, and you can see your output on the console or browsers. Okay, so this is the output. So how we can debug your Spring Boot applications basically? If you have one more endpoint, okay, so for that endpoint you have to put the debuggers and you have to track each and everything. So get data, or maybe you have the path called just prints, and here you have to put the debugger, or maybe you don't want to put here debugger. You have some confusion, like maybe my program is breaking inside this method, so here you can put the debugger. So it's your choice completely where you want to put the debugger in the flow, and based on that you can check it. You can find out your mistakes in your applications, and once you find the mistakes, after that what you can do, you can fix it. So analyzing an error, identifying an error, or maybe prove the analysis or identify the error location, that is one of the good tools for the developer, which is debugger, and that will help you to debug each and everything, each and every line, each and every code of the methods. So even it's a normal method, or even it's a Spring Boot application, it's a Spring, whatever the application you have, you can easily debug it. But you need one ID, because it's in debugger will integrated with the ID itself, so you can't use with the command line. Okay, thank you so much guys. If you have any doubt, let me know. I will help you in that. Okay.